We talked about, the why and how it's affecting your business. Our members need help, right? And it's, if I'm sitting, I've talked with a lot of our members, and they're like, I just don't even know what to do. I don't have these young people working for me, or I've had them and I've fired them, or they left. Like I just don't know what to do. So why don't we put ourselves in their shoes? So we're, 50, 55, our business is doing well. We have a group of people working for us that are maybe our age or older, and we're nervous. We're nervous. They're like, man, these guys are going to retire. I'm pushing to where I'm going to retire. I need younger blood. I'm not ready to hang it up and sell my business. So they realize that they need a change. And that's the first thing I think everybody has to realize is like, hey, we need to add young people to our team. So let's put ourselves in their shoes and say, okay, if we're in your shoes, here's where we start. Where do you even start? Right now they're in complete just dismay. Where do you start? What would you guys do if you were in their shoes?
So I mean, the obvious answer, the common sense answer is bring in a millennial. Bring in someone from the younger generation.
How do you
do that, right?
What do you do?
I guess if you don't know how to do it and you're completely confused, it's like, hey, there's 3 guys at this table that are willing to help and like answer an email, answer a question, or even go further. Like, hey, let's write this first ad together.
That's good.
But if you're truly, lost, but my recommendation would be go to an employee within your organization who might meet the criteria of, the sort of folks you want to get on board.
Regardless of their position.
Exactly.
And that's important, regardless of their position.
Yeah.
Use the people that you have.
What would your friends want to see for them to be interested in working at a company like this? Like, what would need to change? What does that ad have to look like? Get the honest, organic answer that's applicable to your region too, because the way you hire, Blake, is probably way different than the way I hire.
For sure.
Sort of ads I write. A, for the position we're looking for, and then just B, the the demographics of the region. Right, there's a very different type of person depending on where you are in the country.
Right.
But make sure those ads are online on the internet. Make sure they're speaking not to a 45-year-old man. So if you don't know how to write that ad, have your kids write it, have your nephew write it, have one of us write it for you, use one of our ads, make it attractive to them, and maybe simply put in the ad, are you a recent high school graduate? Are you a recent college graduate? Are you looking for a job in an industry that maybe you didn't think of first? Give it an attractive title.
Yeah.
Reevaluate the process. Make sure it fits the person you're trying to hire.
Right.
I mean, if you're trying to hire a lawyer, you write a job description for a lawyer.
Yeah.
If you want to hire a millennial, you write a job description
Well,
for a
I think
millennial.
that what Sean said was spot on. You need to have a millennial write the ad, or ask them organically. Well, how would you do it? What would you do?
Yeah, what does that ad have to look like?
Seek them out.
Yeah.
We haven't done. I can use this in my company. We haven't done that, right? The applicants that we get are all over 40-year-olds.
Yeah.
That when they come in, as soon as they walk in the door, 9 times out of 10, it's like, oh shit,
Yeah.
this is a train wreck.
Yeah.
This interview is going to be a total train wreck.
Yeah.
So the ad has to be tailored to attract the right people.
Yeah. Let me throw a different curveball into this. So I've been taught and learned through my career is that, hiring off ads is dangerous because you don't know who you're going to get. Like, what about networking? What about reaching out to people in your network and finding people and getting recommendations? Like, the thing I like is, at least if I bring somebody in that's connected to somebody I know, the person's hopefully less likely to screw me, and at least come in and give somewhat of an effort. I mean, do you guys think that would be, something to look at as well?
Sure, and they're already walking in with a sense of accomplishment because someone else is bringing them with, right?
That's true.
So you're walking in already engaged, right? If you walk into an interview that you pull out of a Craigslist or wherever the ad comes from, it's just another interview. It's probably one of 10 that you have scheduled for that week.
Let me ask you this, because I bet you most of our members are, members of chambers of commerce, which I don't think you'll have a lot of millennials at those. Are there types of like young executive groups within your guys' communities to where maybe you can go fair?
Yep.
Like, would that be a good place to go?
Really?
Yes, there are. Yeah, it's a young executive group, so it's very similar to this, and it caters towards millennials.
Yeah, sure.
There's certain requirements you got to meet and a certain amount of time that you've got to devote. But you can certainly reach out to these leaders and ask for recommendations or for help. One of the things that we've started to do too is internships, right?
Yeah.
Paid internships. These are people that are millennials. 9 out of 10 times they're coming out of college and they're looking for a job. And most of the time when they're coming out of college, as we all know, you're not going to go get a job that matches your degree exactly.
Yeah.
Right? So don't limit yourself based on what they're going to school for. Right?
Let's go down that route a little bit. That's a good point. Internships.
Right?
Free, risk-free.
It is good. The general contractors in my area they all hire their project management teams out of the construction management programs at local universities. And part of the degree is you have to internship for a general contractor or somebody in the trades. And that they hire off of that. They
Yeah.
bring these kids in. I haven't ever even thought of we CFC could go to that same program and bring them in. I've never thought of it. That's
I'll tell you
a
this
great
about
idea.
degrees. The CEO of Southern Carlson,
Yeah.
Jim Whitley,
Yeah.
he has a degree in music,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So now here he is in the
Yeah.
construction and tool world. So the degree isn't necessarily what's going to get you the best person. It's
Yeah.
the person that you go to the college and say, hey, who's looking for an internship?
Yeah.
Well, what degree? I don't care. I just
Yeah.
need somebody who's willing to come in here and they want to learn and they want to work, right?
Okay.
Something you've said in our notes, attitude over aptitude.
Completely.
It's like, I don't care what your background's in. One of the things when we get a response to our ads, the number one thing I ask, I'm like, tell me about yourself. What sort of hobbies do you have? What's important to you? What do you like
What
to do?
do you do?
I want to see someone who's living a life
What's your
that's
lifestyle?
enthusiastic.
Yeah.
You know, they're healthy. They're like, they have a zest and a lust for life
Yeah.
and to live. And work isn't. You know, I don't want someone who's a diehard worker. I want someone who wants to live
Yeah.
and has interest and is living a full life. And that says a lot about attitude.
Have you ever had any interns at your company?
No, we
Have
haven't.
you ever thought about it?
Thought about it and just never executed on it.
Sharon, where do you go about, because you've gotten interns, how do you go about, who do you talk to at a university for internships?
I think there's career centers and
Career
things like that.
centers?
I think you.
There are career centers. There are actually websites where you can post these internships.
Gotcha.
So you can actually post what the need is, what you're looking for, if it's paid, if it's not paid, and they don't care if it's paid, by the way. They don't. They just want the experience.
And going back to what Patrick said, it sounds like you guys might do some paid internships.
Yep.
It's like think about
That's-
the bottom line and the value potential here. It's everyone's posting these non-paid internships, right? You said
Yeah.
it's like risk-free. This is
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
So pay them a little. Like,
Yeah, you
give them
think-
That'll make you
$5 an
stand out
hour.
over,
Now
like,
you
everybody
stand
else.
out, and it's
Yeah.
like it's still freaking risk-free.
Yeah.
It's going to cost you $200 a week.
I think
Like,
that's a
who
great
gives
place
crap?
that our members should look at.
Either you
Is
hire a
interns.
temp from a temp agency at a lower wage,
Yep.
Yeah.
or you pay an intern who wants to work
Which
and
who's
who's
had
going to
success
school.
doing that?
Yeah, exactly.
I've never done
I
it.
have done it, and
What,
it's
temps?
usually a wreck.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hear nightmares when if you find someone who's valuable, then you have to buy them out, right, from the
Yeah.
temp agency, and it's a whole.
So here's
It's
the
a
thing.
process.
Let's go back on internship, because I think that's solid. I think we should actually roll that out as a recommendation. Is internship in 2017 isn't what internships were in 1985.
No.
They're not getting people's coffee. They're not filing paperwork.
No.
Millennials like to come make a difference, and they like to come and have impact, even as interns. You know, they don't come from the old school that our parents came from. You know, of like, hey, you go pay your dues and show up and mow the grass and then get your boss coffee and do all that stuff. That's not how it works anymore. So, what kind of things in your company, and it actually probably is for young employees as well, could you have them do? Obviously, they can't do. You know, they're not going to go sell on job sites. What kind of things can you have involved with and do so they feel like they're having an impact? Because if you can't inspire them with what they're
I wanna
doing, they're not
retort.
going to be the
Why
employee.
not?
Huh?
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah.
That's
I don't
exactly
know.
what I
You
was
tell
gonna
me.
say.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, if we get an intern, we want them to work.
Yeah.
I don't want you to come in and, like you said, get my coffee and do my
Yeah.
dry cleaning and all this stuff.
Right.
I'm bringing you here for a reason,
Yeah.
right? And we got to remember too, guys, we're not building rockets.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm not taking away from this industry because I love it, but it's not rocket science.
Right. Mhm.
Right? If you create a plan, some kind of standardized plan that you can hand anybody to walk in the door
Yeah.
and be able to accomplish that task, they're
Yeah.
working for you.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
So the question is, why not? Why not hire an intern to go do your work, right?
Yeah.
Because if you treat them correctly and they're hungry and they're motivated and they're able to make a difference and make an impact, and they feel valued, which I think is the most important thing here, is this person, whoever it is and wherever they come from, has to feel valued. They're there for a reason. Okay,
Yeah.
it's not just for you; it's for them.
Yeah.
Right? So they have to feel valued, and at the end of this, they're going to want to come back.
Yeah.
Or they're going to want to stay. They're not going to want to leave.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So treat the person appropriately, get them in your door, and let them go work. Here's your
Yeah.
assignment.
Yeah.
See ya. Come
So-
back when it's done.
Exactly. So I think we all agree is like finding that, if we can find that one right millennial, young person, if you will, to come into your business, it can make a huge difference. So time and effort, just as much as time and effort you put to get in that sale, probably, I mean, you're gonna get out of it what you put into it, right?
Exactly.
So
Just like anything else.
Just like anything. So it's not gonna be easy. You
No.
gotta work it, whether it's through your ads, through your network, through finding internships and all that. So let's say you do a good job and you bust your ass and you get a good pool of people, right? Because it's about a pool of people as well.
Sure.
I think I'm a firm believer in that. I think you guys
Cast
are too.
a wide net.
Cast a wide net. Get
Attrition does the rest.
Leverage the technology to allow you to parse through that data and all those resumes and
Yeah.
make your decisions. You know, use social media and research on the internet to allow. Hey, I think I like this guy, so we just got rid of 80% of the applicants. Out of this pile,
Yeah.
20%. Let me go do a quick Google search. You could probably get rid of 50% of those.
Okay, so
based on
that's
their
where I was
social
going.
media.
So now you have
Let's chat
them.
about that.
Yeah, so
Social
now you
media
have them.
research.
So you got your pool. How do you find the one that, so this is exactly right. So all of you guys are, how do you find the right one now?
So going to what you said earlier, you know, how you said you'll have like 45 plus guys walk in.
Yep.
The number one thing, we currently have ads out, and right before this meeting, I was looking at some of the ads. The number one thing I look at on the resume is the years or like the tenure worked at whatever previous positions they were. And if I see stuff like in the 90s or even like the early 2000s, I'm like, yeah, I'm not looking for that. Not looking for that. It takes me 5 seconds to open that resume.
It's reverse age discrimination.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
But we're
It
talking
is.
about hiring millennials.
It is, but you're training yourself and your company
Yeah.
to hire the people you want to hire.
That's right, yeah,
right?
exactly.
Again, if you want to hire a lawyer, you look for the resumes that say they're
That's
lawyers.
right.
And I mean, you're taking processes that previously probably took a lot of time, and now they're going back to what you said before. You know, you're in a client's, you know, building, and you're working with 3 other clients on your phone. It's you're vetting applicants in like seconds. It's use that technology to allow you to make, you know, the better decisions for your company. So when you're really putting in the effort, and you have 5 guys that you like, and you're having that 45-minute conversation to determine if they're worth the investment, they're actually, you know, tangible guys with real futures.
How do you get to know someone better than looking, especially a young person, than looking at their social media pages? I mean, you literally can't until you really have a relationship with that person. Every person that I interview personally, I go to their Facebook pages and their LinkedIn pages, and I Google search them all. I mean, I've Google searched everyone here,
Yeah.
right? Just because I want to know you a little bit
Yeah.
more.
Sure.
And I have the opportunity to. Why
Yeah.
not,
Yeah.
right? So anybody I'm going to hire or interview, if they've gotten through the screening process and I want to interview them, I'm going to Facebook them before I even bring them in for that interview.
Yeah.
Because then when I'm interviewing them, I question them about their Facebook stuff.
So what's the craziest thing or funniest thing you guys have seen as you're going through these applicants on Facebook or on their social media where you're like, how is that on there?
A lot of drinking.
Lot of
Yeah,
drinking.
a lot of drinking,
That's
a lot
a
of
good,
party
exciting
pictures.
question.
Yeah.
You know what I like about that? And I think you maybe said this once, Blake. Say you vet someone on social media, they come in, you have a good first interview. Going back to that social media, is the way they presented themselves congruent with who they present
Right.
themselves
That's-
online, right?
That's a great point.
That's
And we've
huge.
done that. I've done that. And
There's a lot of BS artists that are
you,
going
you,
to put
you
on
can,
a nice
yep,
face.
you can
in
get
the
a good
interview.
picture at first, and they come in and they sing a great song,
Yep.
and then you go back and look, and does it match up, or is it diametrically opposed?
Yeah.
You can find out real fast.
Yeah.
Real fast.
It's a
if that's-
strong tool.
The old
this
way of
guy's-
interviewing is gone, right?
Yeah.
The canned questions, you know. Give me a situation in which you dealt with a problem and you had to come up with a solution.
What about have you sell me this pen? Have
Yeah.
You guys seen that, right?
It's a great one.
Forget it.
Yeah, what's your biggest weakness?
I always throw in some kind of weird question just to see where they're at. The question means nothing.
Right.
You know, sell this pen, or what's the inside of your car look like?
Yeah.
Right? And you're not looking for the answer. You're
Right.
looking for a response.
How do they
right? And
react?
how
What's
they
their body
react,
language?
Right? Exactly.
Yeah. So
And it's even more important with the younger guys, with the millennials.
yeah. So you can look at them before they get there, after they get there. There's access, right? So look at the access that's there, like you said, Patrick. So you bring them in and you meet them, right? And you're face to face with them. What are you asking them? What are you looking for? Like how are you figuring out if this is the right person for you?
We said earlier, it's just attitude over aptitude. You know, I'm truly looking for someone who has like a zest and like a desire to live a full life. It's
Yeah.
like, what's your favorite book? Can you talk to me? Like, can you talk to me about books? Like,
Yeah.
that's pretty important, right?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
like, what's your favorite movie? And is it your favorite TV show, just Dancing with the Stars? And you know, that guy's sitting at home just
Yeah.
watching mindless TV. Or is he, you know, watching a documentary or some fascinating show, and does he want to talk to you about it?
Right.
I'm like, cool, man, you're alive. Like, there's something going on up there.
Yeah.
That's all that matters to me,
Yeah.
literally.
The
Yeah.
first question I ask is why don't you tell me about yourself? And that sets the tone for the entire interview, right? And
Yeah.
it's a canned question, but it's a very important question to me, because if they go down the path of, well, you know, I've worked here and I've worked here, and I'll stop them. I have your resume, so
Yeah.
why don't you tell me about yourself?
Yeah.
Right? I don't want to know about your resume. I have it.
Yeah.
I want to know about you, and I want to know about what you do not when you're at work, but when you're not at work,
Yeah,
right? Because
Absolutely.
I'll figure out what you do when you're at work.
yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how about you, Blake?
The last 2 hires that I've done, I haven't even done the type of interview at all that we're talking about.
Yeah.
At all. Called them up, come over here. Let's walk the warehouse. Let's talk about what this job looks like.
Yeah.
What does this look like to you? Does this look like a fit for you? I feel like you're a fit for this.
Yeah,
The last hire that I did, it was the most bizarre hire ever. Come over here, meet me at 6 o'clock. We walked the warehouse, we toured it. This is what this job looks like. This is what I need you to do. What do you think about that?
Yeah.
How are you gonna feel? And he's worked out awesome.
I'll
He's
say
been
work out
great.
good. Yeah,
But I didn't get a resume from him. I didn't even have him fill out an application.
yeah,
It was a referral, right? So that helped a little bit. It was a little bit different, but he was referred in. I called him on the phone. We talked. That was the interview process.
Sure.
Hired him off of that. He's been awesome.
So
Young
let-
kid.
Yeah, so let's take us to the next step, because I think everybody that's watching this is like, yeah, we get it. We interview people and bring them into your culture. I think we're all on the same page from listening to you guys. It's not about necessarily what's on the paper and experience, but that's important. Is you're hiring somebody for strengths they're going to bring to your company, right? With what you want them to do, and you're hiring that personality, because you can't coach talent. Right, you're looking for talent. You're looking for those intangibles. You know what I mean? I can coach you in this industry, but you have the intangibles that I'm looking for. What tangibles, what intangibles do millennials offer? So you have businessman that's like, I can bring in the 50-year-old sales guy who's going to come in and do business the way I like it, the way I understand it, or I'm going to bring in this millennial who's going to come in and do things different that maybe I don't understand. Why should he look at that millennial outside of well, you're going to get old and retire? Why outside of that? What value?
Where do we
does that
start?
bring? Why don't- yeah.
I mean, resources, education, we talked about one earlier, always connected,
Mm-hmm.
right? Anytime you have a person that walks in and says, I'm always gonna be on the phone for your customers,
Yeah.
okay, you're hired,
Yeah.
you know? Move on.
Yeah.
I think the number one answer to that question, simply put, is they're going to work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
You know, I think millennials get a bad rap, and it's like every generation has, you know, guys who just want to ride coattails, if you will. And a lot of people say millennials expect things like here and now without much work, but it's because they're used to that efficient way of moving through their lives, and that's thanks to them leveraging technology. And they're going to be able to do that within the context of your business. That's
Yeah.
going to change things for you.
Yeah. What do you
So
think,
technology
Brian?
is, sorry, go ahead.
No, the ability to process multiple forms of communication and inputs.
Yeah.
Like I'm pulling an order that's got 3/8 nuts on it. The phone rings. They need to know how much rebar we have in the back.
Yeah.
I can run and do that. I can come back and I can process and multitask greater than any generation before.
And that's just because of how they've been
I'm
raised,
used
right?
to, the
technology.
millennial is used to doing so many different things at the same time, not related to work, but Facebooking, having a conversation, driving their car at the same time.
Right.
Legitimately,
Yeah.
it happens. It's
Yeah.
not safe, but it does, right? We're lying if we say that it
Yeah,
doesn't happen.
right, right.
And they're
Don't say that
used to that.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
That ability to then bring that skill in and translate it to what they're doing for you in your business, whatever that position is
Yeah.
more unique now than ever before.
I think another intangible would be the technological skill that just comes with being a millennial.
Yeah.
One of the first things I asked to in an interview, and one of the most important things on my ad is, are you technologically able?
Yeah.
Right? Because we all have operating systems and computer systems that we have to use, and to train Gen X or someone like that to use my operating system
Yeah.
is a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
It's like
It's
nails
huge.
on a chalkboard.
Right, it's huge.
So time
Yeah.
consuming.
But again, I can hand a millennial and say, here's the basics, right? I can give you a roadmap. This is how you get through this system. The rest is on you.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and they're going to be able to, right?
Yeah.
And myself, I'm a perfect example, right?
Yeah.
I received zero training on my ERP system.
Yeah.
Right, but it didn't matter because it's you click and you point and you
Yeah,
figure
exactly.
stuff out
Yeah.
because it's on a computer, right?
Yeah.
It's Windows based. It's
Yeah.
you're able to go in and look at it and say, okay, what does this do? You push
Yeah.
a button and you find out, right?
Yeah.
To where many of the people that have been at the organization for much longer than I have, still don't go into that hotkey
Yeah.
because they have no idea what it is.
Yeah.
And they're scared that if they push it, it's going to explode or something.
Yeah,
right?
totally.
The millennials, they want to know what every button in there does.
Nothing will break. Yeah.
Right. So
And
the
if it does break,
technological
we'll fix
aptitude
it.
is
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Technology speak,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
in a computer system,
Yeah.
if it breaks, we'll fix it. There's
Yeah.
nothing permanent.
So,
I'm not afraid of it.
So I have a great question, right? So millennials have a bad rap for probably real reasons, because there's probably some shitty millennials out there that have given millennials this bad rap, right? And I'm sure people watching this video are like, well, I know millennials and I've experienced shitheads.
they're lazy.
They're lazy, because there are. So what warning signs do you guys look for when you're, because obviously you're filtering through millennials. What warning signs do you look for where maybe some of those preconceived notions or, some of those stereotypes, if you will, are true?
I would think that this is where you would take it back into an older generation, right? And you start looking at ethic, right? Because a millennial that's not lazy and that doesn't meet these negative connotations, he might be multitasking and doing something that you don't quite understand, and you see it as laziness.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's about productivity, right? Is he doing what he needs to be doing in the amount of time that I've allotted?
Yeah.
Right. So I think there's a certain mixture of using the millennial skills and the skill sets that they bring to the table, but then you also have to step back and be somewhat traditional to actually evaluate the process, right? Look at metrics. What are they doing?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And in most cases, you can ask that millennial, if they're good,
Yeah.
to provide you with the metrics, because they, again, want to be valued. This is what I've done, and
Yeah.
here's what I've done today.
Yep.
Right? There's not a whole lot of the older generation that comes in and says, "Man, look at me! Look what I did today!"
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And in some cases, that's great.
Yeah.
But in most cases, it's not.
Yeah.
I want to know what my people are doing today.
Yeah.
Right?
See, and I think that's crap, because I get that from people I work with and around, like, oh, millennials like to pat themselves on the back. They always want praise. Bullshit. Everybody wants praise.
You're right. So
whether you're
what?
freaking 95, you know how much egos are in this. Everybody wants praise. They all want credit for it. And when they say they don't want credit for it, that means they want more credit for
Right.
it. You know what I mean? Millennials are no different than every other human being walking this face of the earth. They all want a pat on the back. They all want. I heard somebody say that we had a supplier advisory meeting. He's like, "All these millennials want to do is get pat on the back." I'm like,
Everyone does.
you want to be pat on the back right now. Like, everybody wants to get pat on the
That's
back.
why
And
you're going at it.
You're crazy. Yeah. And I go, by you saying it, you're talking out your ass.
But you know what? Go pat him on the back.
Don't pat.
Give him what he wants.
It's free.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? What are you
Yeah,
losing?
yeah.
Right? Some
Yeah.
sweat off your hand.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And
I mean-
that's I think an important thing to know. Like with millennials, is that they want to be part of something bigger, right? It's not about the money. It's about what are they doing to change the world?
Quality
if you
of
will.
life.
It's quality of life, and those are the things that people have to realize are free. And so me coming from the nonprofit world, the easiest way for me to motivate my people wasn't money, right? People wanted to make more money. Don't get me wrong. They wanted to raise money and make more money and all that. But I had something that was more tangible than anything else that would keep them inspired and motivated for working on their job. And it was the cause. Let's bring in this little girl and her mom who's fighting for this little girl's life. And tell all these people that are working for you on a daily basis how thankful you are. Boom, productivity through the roof. That's what millennials want.
You know,
They just want to be.
admittedly, I think millennials do crave it more than other generations, right? I think,
Yeah.
to your point, everybody wants a pat on the back,
Yeah.
but I want a pat on the back every day,
Yeah.
right? And I think part of it is because we're able to accomplish so much, right? And so we want to separate ourselves and say, hey, look, I'm
Yeah.
sitting next to this guy who's 50, and his bullet points are 3, and mine's 4 pages, right?
true.
So give me a pat on the back because I deserve it,
Yeah.
right? And I think there's a lot of millennials out there that do the same thing, and they say, hey, I'm doing a lot for you.
Yeah.
Come shake my hand and pat me on the back and make me feel valued.
Yeah.
The number one thing that I've read so far about millennials is they have to feel valued where they're at, or they get bored and they lose interest and they leave.
Yeah.
So make them feel valued. It's easy. It's so easy
Yeah, it
to
ain't
make
hard.
someone feel valued.
And
Thank you. I
shouldn't
appreciate
all of our
it.
members really relate with that because they're all entrepreneurs?
Absolutely.
And aren't we all at the end when we all were young, and you guys are young, but like in their careers that they wanted to be valued, they wanted to be important, they wanted to make the most money? Isn't that why they jumped out and started the show? Shouldn't they actually be able to relate?
Embrace it.
Yeah, and relate to the millennials and be like, I was just like you. Because that's what got me to get the balls to start my own business.
It's just different to have somebody actually vocalize that, right?
Oh, yeah.
How many studies have been out there that are available in many companies that say employees will respond more to recognition or a pat on the back in front of the rest of the employees more than they will a cash bonus?
Yeah.
That's been around for 50 years.
Yeah, that's not.
That's no different,
That's not
right?
different.
The difference is I'm gonna say it. I want it.
Yeah.
Right, I'm gonna tell you
I'm
I
Yeah.
gonna tell
And
you
if-
I
and
want
if you don't give it to me, I'm gonna
That's
leave.
different.
Yep.
That's different.
That makes sense.
Feeling valued, right? And, you know, this is kind of new for me, is telling my people I'm proud of them.
Yeah.
Right? And even right now, it sounds kind of weird coming out of my mouth, right?
Yeah.
And when I first started, it was a weird thing for me to go and tell people I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
But as you're saying, they are vocalizing it to me, so I have to vocalize it back, and that's not always an easy thing.
Yeah.
And even me being a younger guy, it wasn't an easy thing to walk into someone's office and say, you know, you did a good job today, and I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think that they deserve that for just coming in and doing their job.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But if they're going above and beyond day in and day out, or even if it's once a week, you walk in their office and you tell them you're proud of them, and you have no idea what it does to a person's soul. I mean,
Yeah.
and just to their mind and their spirit and just the way that they feel. To know that your boss, to literally know it, is proud of you, right? If I just get a raise on my paycheck, okay, I probably deserve that. But I want my boss to walk in my office and say, you know what, Patrick, you did a great job today. I'm really proud of you. So
Yeah,
just like
yeah.
my kids,
Yeah.
right?
So you know what? Okay. So I think this is what maybe a lot of our members will face.